wonderful day to be a Raider. Draped in the silver and black. I represent the shield. I represent the swords. It's that time of night again, Raider Nation. And you come back. Why? Because it's time. It's time to bring them.
Happy Black Friday, Raider Nation. As we've got the second half of last week's game, 1980, Monday Night Football, as we dip back in our silver and black time machine, once again, as we dust off another Raider classic, we're going to pick it up right before half, as there's about 5 seconds on the clock. Steelers have just scored, and we're getting ready to go into half. So that is where we will pick it up. Steelers Raiders, Monday Night Football, October 1980.
Randy Grossman down there defensively for the Steelers. Boy, I'll tell you, there's going to be some action in the second half. You can just sense it. What is it? 52 points in the first half. We ever had anything like this on Monday night?
This could be the highest scoring Monday night game in history. We'll follow it closely. First year, second game. Kansas City 44, Baltimore 24. Then we had an Oakland-Denver game. Then we had a Kansas City game, another Kansas.
That's no notes, folks. No notes. Van Egan, left side. As Oakland content to run out the clock, which they do. And a wild and woolly first half ends with the Raiders on top, 28-24. Stick around for this one. It's going to be interesting. Both teams leaving for the locker room. Also stick around for halftime activity. Some of the top plays from the NFL coming your way very shortly. Right now, this message and a word from a attempt to run out the clock, which they do. And a wild and woolly first half ends with the Raiders on top, 28-24. Stick around for this one. It's going to be interesting. Both teams leaving for the locker room. Also stick around for halftime activity. Some of the top plays from the NFL coming your way very shortly. Right now, this message and a word from our local stations.
Willie Rawls, utility man. This is who we are and what we do at General Motors.
From the top man right down to the bottom man. It just passes right down the line. Everybody pushes for quality. Yeah, the people on the line, they get along very good. They have a lot of interest in the car. If I go out to buy a car, that's where I go, looking for a General Motors car. Because I'm right there in the plant and I see how they're built, see the quality that goes into them.
General Motors, people building transportation to serve people.
Eastern's Transcon is a brand new way to fly between New York and California. How are we doing on this special new Eastern service?
I've been coast to coast more than once on other carriers. It'll match the best.
As the new boy on the block, they're doing a good job.
Everybody was friendly, which is very unique on airplanes nowadays. I just think that Eastern's trying hard to please, and they're succeeding.
Eastern's Transcon, the newest example of our commitment to personal service.
I think it's a great airline. I wasn't paid to say that either.
Now, the Firestone Trax 12 steel-belted radial with deep grooves and biting edges that give you traction when you need it and smooth, quiet running when the turnpike's dry. Traction 12 months a year. The Firestone Trax 12. Best of all, the long-lasting Trax 12 is Firestone's lowest-priced steel-belted white wall radial. Check your paper today for Trax 12 prices.
Friday. They're coming from another world. Nothing will be the same.
People are being duplicated.
All they want is your body.
It's happening now.
They're coming. Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Drilling for oil and gas along the Gulf Coast costs big money. That's why you need Milchem. We provide professional drilling fluids planning and tech service reps who care about results. A complete line of solids control equipment and delivery when and where you need it. That's milk, Kim. After all, we're the leader in patented drilling fluid products and well site technology. How'd you much check them out?
The Supreme Court agrees. A lower court ruling will stand, making the St. Mary Parish transient worker law unconstitutional. More on a KDN update.
This is KATC TV3 Lafayette.
We're back live at Three Rivers Stadium. The halftime score in an absolutely spectacular game. Oakland 28, the Steelers 24. Now we go to our new set of halftime features. The most unusual, the most dramatic, the greatest key plays in yesterday's action, as picked by our producer and our director. Tonight's halftime features are being brought to you by Merrill Lynch, whose ability to guide you through the intricacies of investing makes them a very special breed apart. The outstanding quarterback and receiver on the day, both with the Chargers, Dan Fouts, quarterback, Charlie Joyner, wide receiver. The hapless Giants at San Diego. And this was the way the action went. Look at those stats on Fouts. 444 yards on the day and a touchdown pass to Charlie Joyner. 10 receptions, 171 yards on the day. Fouts not only broke his own record for passing, but look at that one right there to John Jefferson, Kellen Winslow, the great young tight end, and Jefferson and Joyner, 100 yards all on the day. The outstanding running back, Earl Campbell of the Houston Oilers, as Houston did away with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the Astrodome. Earl had his first 200-yard game ever, and this was his longest run of the day, 28 yards down the left side. There are the stats. Curtis Jordan finally downed him. He was an unstoppable runner all day long. This another evidence. Watch him break Cedric Brown's tackle. That was 34 of the opposition team. Earl Campbell, the most unusual play of the day in the same game, and it involved Danny Reese and Cedric Brown and also Earl Campbell. The Bucs trailing 20-7 in the fourth quarter. Stable to Campbell. Campbell in for a short gain, and then he lost the ball. Reese picked it up, and then lateral to that man, Cedric Brown, number 34. He went 80 yards for the touchdown behind the blocking of David Logan. So that had to be the most unusual play of the day. But not a happy day, despite that play, for Tampa Bay.
Picking and choosing the right investments requires very careful handling. One wrong move can easily damage the best laid plans. At Merrill Lynch, we know that size and strength can be very valuable. But it is our sensitivity to your investment goals and agility in helping you reach them that makes us what we are. Merrill Lynch, a breed apart.
The pass of the day. Vince Evans of the Chicago Bears. James Scott, the man the Jets didn't want of the Chicago Bears. It happened in Chicago's 24-7 upset of Detroit. It happened this way. Evans, a brilliant athlete from USC, throwing deep downfield. The defender, half slipping, but Scott too speedy. There it was, the touchdown, and that sparked the upset. Then, the defensive play of the day. A man wearing number 46 named Don Bessalou in the upset of the Dolphins over the Buffalo Bills 17-14. This was the way it happened. Joey Ferguson throwing that little pass to Joe Cribbs, hit, fumbled the ball, Bessalou picked it up, there he went, 44 yards, the touchdown. That got the Dolphins off to the early lead that sparked the upset. Kick return of the day, for the hottest team in football, Horace Ivory of the New England Patriots. The Colts were ahead of the Patriots when it happened, 21-17. The Colts themselves, the winners of 3 in a row. And with that lead, they kicked off. Watch Ivory. Watch him closely. That quick burst through the hole. Then, cutting half right. Eluding tackler after tackler. All the way downfield. 98 yards. New England went on to the 5th straight win. They're at 6-1 on the year. How about the most dramatic play of the day? It had to be Brian Sipe and Dave Logan of the Browns and their incredible victory over Green Bay. They were in a desperate situation. 25 seconds left in the game, losing 21-20. 3rd and 20 at the pack of 46, and Sipe went to work. To Logan, probably the most underpublicized great player in the league. He caught it on the 19, sped in for the score. Cleveland had won the game. Now let's take another look. Watch Sipe. Total blitz put on him by Green Bay. He held together. Spotted his receiver. Threw it perfectly. Sipe proved himself a year ago. And there was Logan. And I'll tell you, this Cleveland team has a way of coming back. They stay in the chase. They have won 4 of their last 5 games. And so, in the very tough AFC Central, a critical victory.
Reaching your financial goal is never as simple as some people would have you believe. You have to know exactly where you're going and make the right decisions at the right time. At Merrill Lynch, it's our skill at guiding you through the intricacies of investing that makes us what we are. Merrill Lynch, a breed apart.
We're at halftime here at Pittsburgh. A wildly offensive game between the Oakland Raiders and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Oakland on top 28-24 over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's take a look at some of the action as it took place. Let's pick up the action with Pittsburgh on top 17-14 at this point here in the second quarter. Bradshaw back under pressure. Watch from the right of your screen. Cedric Hardman pursues Bradshaw. He'll come up with the sack. Down goes Bradshaw. Bradshaw is hurt. Bruised his elbow, but more importantly, Willie Jones comes up with the ball. And he quickly laterals off to Rod Martin. Rod Martin moves it in, 34-yard touchdown, and the Oakland Raiders all of a sudden are fired up. And then another turnover. Ted Hendricks comes up with another interception. Jim Plunkett. Now watch, Jim Plunkett will feel a lot of pressure. The Steelers coming with their pass rush. Plunkett looking far downfield. Steps inside, finds Morris Bradshaw. Another touchdown for the Oakland Raiders. A beautifully thrown ball. Splitting the zone was Bradshaw, 45-yard TD. Bradshaw went out of the game. We understand he will come back in the second half. But Cliff Stout, with no timeouts remaining, 17 seconds on the clock, had talked with Chuck Noll, came in, looked for Jim Smith over the middle. Jim Smith at the 1-yard line. Smith catches the football, full concentration, puts the arms out, and the indication, Pittsburgh touchdown. So Pittsburgh came back. They are now trailing by only 4 points here in the second half, and you better believe there's conversation going on in both those locker rooms, particularly the Pittsburgh Steeler locker room where Chuck Noll obviously unhappy and distressed with the second quarter of the Steelers. We'll be back in a moment.
Americans are deeply concerned over the economic failures of the last 4 years. When I became governor of California, we solved many of the same problems America faces today by bringing in a team of elected officials and private citizens. Working together, we cut the rate of government spending and turned a $194 million deficit into a $554 million surplus. We did it once, we can do it again.
The time is now for Reagan. Reagan for president.
Once again at halftime here in Pittsburgh, the score of the Oakland Raiders 28, the Pittsburgh Steelers 24. This ABC Sports exclusive is being brought to you by Buick and your Buick dealer, who invite you to see all the 81 Buicks from Riviera to Skylark to the new Regal, and by new gas-saving Pennzoil. Quality in every extra mile. Ask for it. And we'll be back with the second half kickoff. But right now, this message from the National Football League, and then a word from our local stations. Stay with us. More action coming up.
This place proves one thing. The vintage years are the best years. With that kind of spirit, it's no wonder we're the city of champions. I'm Steve Finesse of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and just look around. These are my kind of people. There's no way these people are going to retire to the sidelines when they have so much going for them. Not only is my friend Velma Payne studying tap dancing at the age of 81, she's just one of a group of 14 dancers called the Vintage Rockettes. But everybody here is involved. And you'll find that spirit is contagious. It's the spirit of United Way. It's the biggest winner in a city of winners. The people of Pittsburgh are behind United Way, and that's why it works here. And thanks to them, it works for all of us, the United Way.
Saturday, it's the season premiere of A Night of Love and Fantasy, when Julian Gopher fall under the love spell of the Love Boat. Then, on Fantasy Island, Rourke faces the biggest challenge of his career to save Carol Lindley's soul from the devil.
It starts at the Port of Liberia, International Moorings and Marine Offshore Construction Division, where your fabrication projects come to life. From the structure, the process piping, to the electrical and instrumentation, precision and skill that reaches offshore, where IMM's experienced hookup and welding crews install to your exact specification. Onshore fabrication and repair, offshore installation, repair, sandblasting, painting, maintenance. It's all there. IMM. Total Performance.
This is us. This is JCPenney.
It's JCPenney's at home sale. Save $100 off this MCS Series 35-watt receiver, $100 off this MCS Series 3-way speakers, and $30 off this MCS Series direct drive turntable, $50 off this 19-inch AccuScan color TV during the JCPenney's at home sale, Northgate Mall.
This is JCPenney.
This is KATC, TV3 Lafayette.
Friday, October 31st, the controversial Larry Holmes Muhammad Ali Championship bout. As Larry Holmes silenced the former champion once and for all. Was this the last fight of Ali's career? From the first bell to the final painful aftermath. And live, the WBC World Lightweight Championship. Jim Watt, the pride of Scotland, fights Oklahoma's knockout artist Sean O'Grady. What a fight night. 2 championship bouts Friday, October 31st on ABC.
Back at Three River Stadium, and a wild offensive football show. The Pittsburgh Steelers down by 4 to the Oakland Raiders here at halftime. Interestingly enough, this is the most points we have ever had scored in the first half of a Monday night football game.
And even more interestingly, Frank, look at the differential in time of possession. Overwhelmingly Pittsburgh. First downs overwhelmingly Pittsburgh, but Oakland, with its opportunism, and apparently Terry Bradshaw will be back, though Cliff Stout was wonderful in driving the Steelers to a touchdown as the first half ended that brought them right back into the thick of things. Interestingly enough, Oakland has taken advantage of every opportunity given to them by Pittsburgh via the turnovers that have plagued the Steelers all season long.
Gift set to go for the second half. Matt Barr will kick off for the Steelers. Ira Matthews is deep, number 43, along with Arthur Whittington. Steelers 4-2 on this young season. If they lose tonight, they fall into a tie with Cleveland and Houston. The Raiders, a win tonight puts them 1 game behind San Diego in their division, and this is Matthews. Matthews out to the 25-yard line, popped there by Calvin Sweeney. Oakland's first possession. At the beginning of the first half, Pittsburgh took the ball the length of the field to put the first points on the scoreboard. It looked like a Pittsburgh Steeler runaway. And then a couple of turnovers, 2 interceptions by Ted Hendricks. And that really takes care of the time of possession because Oakland struck quickly after both of those. They also scored on a sack of Bradshaw, a fumble, and a lateral from Willie Jones to Rod Martin. There's Cliff Stout, who came in, took the Steelers the length of the field. Picked up a touchdown with 17 seconds remaining to bring the Steelers to within 4. Huggins, the quarterback, to setbacks. Van Egan 30, Kenny King 33. On First down, Plunkett immediately to the air. Fires and is complete to the tight end, Raymond Chester, out close to the 29-yard line. It'll be a gain of 4 and second down and 6. Raymond Chester, originally drafted by the Oakland Raiders after a couple of years, traded to Baltimore, and came back a couple of years ago and had a sensational year a year ago with 58 receptions.
A first-round draft choice by Davis out of Morgan State, and now back, and a key man, and one of the reasons Davis was able to trade Casper.
Important game for these two bitter rivals in the AFC. Oakland trying to get San Diego. Good hole there, trying to maintain their lead as Van Egan gets the call and gets up to the 35-yard line, short of the first down by about a foot. Now they mark it at the 34, so it'll be about a yard for the first down. Jack Lambert went out of the action in the first half. Strain knee on the part of Jack Lambert. Of course, he is a bit of an inspirational leader to the entire defensive unit of the Steelers. Great middle linebacker, Jack Lambert. He's on the sidelines. Banaszak also had to leave the action in the first half. He's back in there now, however. Short yardage. Kenny King gets the call, and King breaks a tackle and pops for the first down and still goes. Hey, that guy's a runner. King out to the 44-yard line. First down, Oakland.
Frank, this kid is terrific.
You see a guy like this come from one team he played behind, as you mentioned earlier, Earl Campbell, but you wonder how many other really outstanding players are on clubs that, they just don't get a chance to play. But you get him moved in with another club, and he's turned out to be a real standout for him.
Well, they got Kenny King for Jack Tatum and 2 seventh-round draft picks. They originally wanted to draft him, but Houston took him in the 3rd round, Kenny King, a year ago, so Oakland couldn't get to him. Cliff Branch bobbles the ball incomplete. It'll be second down and 10.
Don, as a former great quarterback in this league,
thank you.
You've got to be impressed with what Plunkett is doing.
Well, yeah, he has only thrown about, I think that was his 11th pass tonight, and he's maybe completed 5. The thing that I'm impressed with is he's held his composure pretty well. And I think one of the things that happened earlier in his career, he kind of got his confidence, he was shaken up a little bit. So I'm glad to see him get that back, establish himself as a frontline quarterback.
Second down and 10. Plunkett looks it over. Ball at the 44-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. Steelers put 4 men in the rush. Plunkett hangs it for France. He's there. Oh! Plunkett, who hit France a week ago for 43 yards, has hit for 56 yards again to the speedy Cliff Branch, and Plunkett is having himself a night.
That one was perfectly thrown. Mel Blount was out there. It appeared that there was a slight hesitation. Mel, I don't know whether he looked to the inside and saw Dirk Winston back there. That was Dirk Winston all the way back, the middle linebacker. See number 53, he takes off running. I don't know whether Mel thought he had some help coming from the inside or not, but it's a beautifully thrown ball. Cliff Branch is right there.
He's got his poise back. He's got his confidence back. 2 earlier touchdown passes as you take still another look were thrown when the man was in trouble. Yes, he's back.
And that was all pro Mel Blount on the coverage.
Did it look to you, Frank, that he was looking for help from the inside or something, and he just wasn't in a very good position for him? That's awfully.
Drills it to the uprights, and Oakland extends their lead as quickly. We have more points on the scoreboard. 12:36 remaining in the 3rd quarter. The Raiders 35, the Steelers 24.
Is included at no additional cost, or you can pick a Landau vinyl top. Here's her serve. An ace. Beautiful, Billie Jean, beautiful.
Thanks, I think so too. Don't you just love the colors?
See your Buick dealer now for his 81 announcement offer on the new Buick Regal.
Why have over 1 million people Midas-sized their brakes? Was it because they know Midas has brake mechanics that are specially trained? Was it because they know Midas has the right brake parts in stock? Or was it because they know Midas has over 20 years' experience under the car? Well, whatever the reason, it certainly was no accident. It pays to Midas-size your brakes.
Silence again overwhelms this jam-packed stadium, Three Rivers Stadium.
the Pittsburgh Steelers have not lost 2 consecutive games in this stadium going back to 1970. Chris Barr hits it. Frank Pollard will take the short kick at the 7. And a big opening for Pollard. And he turns back into a crowd, gets out over the 30 to the 31, hit there by Todd Christensen, who's been excellent on the special teams for Oakland.
There's Cliff Branch, and Frank just called it right on the button. He turned back into a crowd, Pollard did. Had he run right, he could have picked up another 5-10 yards easily. But it's easy from up here.
Bradshaw back into the huddle for the Steelers. If you were with us in the 3rd quarter, you saw him go out. Holding his left arm, appears to be all right. 1st and 10, and Bradshaw hands off to Hawthorne. Hawthorne tries the right side, pecks his way back to the inside, and moves out to the 39-yard line. Gain of 7. It'll be 2nd down and 3. Matt Millen, the rookie Penn State linebacker, in on the stop.
Big 1st down play makes the next call easy. We all know that. But what's important is that Pittsburgh stick to its game plan, not panic because they're down 11, and judged by that play, Mr. Bradshaw will not.
I absolutely agree with what you just said. I think that really is the real key. Stay exactly what you're going to do because they moved the ball so well early in the game.
Inside handoff. He goes to Russell Davis, and Davis close to the 1st down, out near the 42-yard line. He had to reach the 42 for the 1st down. Russell Davis, of course, in the lineup tonight because Franco Harris had a slight injury to his knee last week against Cincinnati. They say he could play if he had to. We doubt if we will see him. We did not see him in the 1st half. 1st down indicated for the Steelers. Also not playing tonight, Liv Swan, Dave Stallworth, and a host of other Steelers. And it's beginning to sprinkle a little here. A very cool night in Pittsburgh. Temperature at game time, a little above 40 degrees. It was expected to go around in the low 30s. 1st and 10, the Steelers, their own 42-yard line. Look out. Bradshaw wisely drops to the turf. Rod Martin on the blitz against Bradshaw. He was in there. Also, the safety coming in was Mike Davis, number 36.
All right, look to the outside. Now, you've got Hawthorne, number 27. He's supposed to check the outside linebacker before he goes on that route. Nobody looked to the outside. His little sort of got a little jump up and fake like he's going to block, but he never looked to the outside. Quarterbacks have long talks with those blocking backs. And look, guys, you ain't no way you're going to get a pass thrown to you with me laying down.
Loss of 8. It'll be 2nd down and 18. 3rd sack of the night for the Oakland Raiders against the Steelers.
Picking their times when to blitz, and they're picking it very well.
On 2nd down and long, Bradshaw over the middle to Hawthorne. Hawthorne trying to get to the outside, and he runs into Mike Davis, who makes a stop up at the 47-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down and 8.
Well, I'll tell you, Russell Davis made a great block in there, but it still wasn't enough to spring Hawthorne loose, to the point where he might have gotten enough yardage for the 1st down.
Now they marked the ball at the 42, so that will make it 3rd down and 9. We talk about all the injuries for the Steelers. The Oakland Raiders defensively, they have lost their key free safety man, Charles Phillips. He's out with knee surgery. They've lost Monty Johnson, the wide linebacker, Bob Nelson, so they're playing with a lot of regulars on the sideline. Bradshaw on 3rd and long. Fires incomplete. Calvin Sweeney has the 1st down at the 40-yard line. Lester Hayes made the stop.
It obviously wasn't his right arm that he hurt.
No, obviously wasn't.
Just really a drilled pass. This thing is really going. Smith goes straight down, not any finesse at all. That's just knowing, having a confidence. Man, that's Calvin Sweeney. I'm sorry.
And a 4th-round draft choice, and a guy who apparently wouldn't make the team, but did, and wisely used there by Bradshaw when everybody was looking for another receiver.
Actually, they had cut him.
Cut him and brought him back.
Right. On 1st and 10. Rocky Blyer. Big opening of Blyer to the 38-yard line, and a flag is down. And Blyer has picked up 7 yards, but there is a flag down. Randy McClanahan in on the stop. And marked off against the Steelers, the holding indication. Referee Pat Haggerty tonight with his crew.
If that's Webster again, that'll be 4. And I think he's going to have some serious talk.
I would think. They continue to make the key mistake, which is not the championship
Holding,
team.
number 52.
It was.
Webster's going for a league record. That's 4 on Webster tonight.
Now, right there is probably the story of this game. Give Oakland all the credit in the world. Plunkett all the credit in the world. Give them all the opportunism in the world. But Pittsburgh mistakes dominate.
Hey, the guy that Webster's working against is not Pear. Reggie Kinlaw has been in there through most of the night. And he is giving Mike Webster fits. Anytime a man gets called that many times for holding, he's having his problems. On 1st and 20. Screen, Randy Grossman. Good move. And Grossman. That's back to the original line of scrimmage, the 40-yard line. Up into there by Mike Davis.
Well, that was a very important down. They got back exactly the kind of yardage they needed on that down, Dan. As you well know.
Yeah, you see that kind of thing happen quite a bit. You say, okay, I lost 10, let me have 10 back, and I'll spot you 1 down. I've still just got 10 to go. You can do a lot more things looking for 10 than you can for 20. Well, that's bright, isn't it? I figured that out all by myself.
There's Flores. Came in last year replacing the legendary John Madden.
Yes, sir.
Had a 9-7 season. Used to quarterback these Oakland Raiders. 2nd and 10. Flyer, single setback. Bradshaw looking for Smith and is batted away.
Almost intercepted.
Almost picked off by Lester Hayes. I believe it was Matt Millen who got a hand on it. Or Big John Matusak, who is also, like the stork over there, Ted Hendricks. Matusak is even bigger. He's 6'8".
Matusak is simply, when he plays the way he can play, not human.
Not human.
Bigger, stronger than Gifford in his prime.
Certainly bigger, certainly stronger, certainly in his prime. There he is. Tampa, first player picked in the 73 draft. Bradshaw looking over a 3rd and 10. 3 wide receivers. Calvin Sweeney back in the lineup for the Steelers. Bradshaw wants Smith. He has him. First down.
So tough to stop that pattern when these outside receivers have the speed they do. You saw Smith really stop, turn around. That takes a lot of good timing with that quarterback, and that's what he did. Nothing fancy, but see this little burst to the outside, I'm going to go deep. No, I'm going to stop, turn around right here. That's awfully tough on a defensive quarterback to cover.
Particularly when, under the new rules that came into effect in 77, once that receiver gets 5 yards downfield, you can't touch him.
That rule did what I guess they wanted to. It sure has opened up the passing game and put a lot more points on the board.
Give you some numbers on that in a little bit. It's been incredible. Crowd of 54,000 watching. 1st and 10. Ball inside the 26-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. Bradshaw with play action, throws it up for Theo Bell. He does not hold on.
Oh, dangerous throw done. Double coverage, right in the middle of it. Dangerous throw.
Well, but let's give I can't get. Somebody made a real good move coming back in there to fill in on that deep safety. The ball was thrown right on line. Theo Bell, it was a quick throw. You mentioned a little play action fake on the inside. That's Aaron Matthews right there, but number 44, Burgess Owens, coming over from the safety. He's the guy that made the big jump and knocked it away.
Interesting to see Burgess Owens in an Oakland uniform. Shows what coaching can do. A #1 draft choice for the New York Jets. Through all the years, they said he didn't measure up. But with this club, a great athlete, he more than measures up.
2nd down, 10. Here comes the blitz, and Bradshaw drops a full ball and has to fall on it back at the 32. It'll be 3rd down and 16.
Oh, that's bad.
Trying to make that handoff with the left hand. That we don't know exactly what injury that was, but it was to his left hand, left elbow, or something. And it appeared he made that fake, trying to hold the ball with just that one hand. So whether it was his left hand or shoulder or arm, whatever it was, I think that might have caused the fumble.
Ball back at the 32-yard line. Raiders came right out here in the 3rd quarter. Plunkett, the branch, 56-yard touchdown. They now lead by 11 points. 3rd and 16. Terry changing things off at the line of scrimmage. And a flag has gone down. The Pittsburgh Steelers have used too much timeout, and I'll tell you, Chuck Noll must be about ready to...
He got to be.
Give up on the whole show.
It's unbelievable.
Seemed looking around and you look what personnel you have in the game at that time, he had them in the formation he really couldn't do much with. He was trying to figure out, how can I change this play? Didn't have the right people in there.
Play of game, offense. 4 times Super Bowl champions, victimized constantly by their own mistakes.
3rd down, 21. Doesn't seem possible, does it?
That happens.
Does not seem possible.
Ball inside Oakland's 37-yard line, and the Steelers would like to come away with something if they could on this drive. 7:20 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Bradshaw. Man is open, is Bell. Touchdown. Third down and 21. And slipping and falling was Monty Jackson back there pursuing Bell. I don't know whether he could knock it away or not. He never had the opportunity. He fell. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
Do you believe this game?
I can't believe that throw.
If the conversion is good, it'll be 35-31. We will have had 66 points. Let's look at an end zone replay.
Again, look at the mobility. He got him moving. He missed. That was Browning, came through there. Fell down. The ball's again right on the money. Theo almost went out of bounds, but he tiptoed through for 6.
To the tulips.
That was Monty Jackson. He saw got number 42. He says, how in the world did I trip?
Here's Matt Barr for the conversion. Colquitt gets it down to the uprights, and the Steelers are back in it once again.
What a scoring football game we have tonight. Again, a spread of 4 with the Raiders on top 35-31.
What's the record high? All right, let's look at it again in isolation.
He actually stepped on Theo Bell's left foot. That's what caused Monty Jackson to fall. Theo Bell with a nifty catch and the touchdown. We'll be back in a moment.
This ranch doesn't run without horses, and the horses don't run without you. So when you've hammered out another day's work, you meet up with Miller Time.
If you got the time.
Time for the best tasting beer you can find.
We got the beer.
America's quality beer since 1855, Miller High Life.
Miller tastes too good to hurry through. When it's time to relax, we've got the beer.
Oh, good.
Saturday on NCAA College Football, a doubleheader afternoon of the best in collegiate action at a special early time. Check local listings for the NCAA games in your area, starting at 12 Eastern, live on ABC.
Here in Pittsburgh, with half of the 3rd quarter still remaining, both teams have put touchdowns up on the scoreboard. Both coming on long passes. Matt Barr to kick off for the Steelers. And this will be Arthur Whittington from the 12-yard line. Down goes Whittington. Robin Cole hustling Whittington to the turf inside the 20-yard line. Robin Cole. He is a good one. But classics these two teams have produced over the 70s, and a lot of hard feelings that have been generated. The mystical catch by Franco Harris a few years ago, well remembered by Oakland. And, of course, the bitterness that came out of other games, late hits, accusations, court cases, and now they're going at it in another classic. It's 35-31 with 7:07 remaining in the 3rd quarter, and the Raiders are still on top. And the crowd is beginning to get into it. Nearly 54,000 of the capacity here at Three Rivers. Kenny King gets the call, and King runs into Dirk Winston after a gain of a couple.
Now, right here, Don, Plunkett must not become conservative. Do you agree?
I agree. You must not allow the hometown crowd, which this is a very... The face mask call down on the field, another flag indicated against the Steelers. Here's the call, referee Pat Haggerty.
Big break right there.
Face mask, number 59.
Jack Ham. You won't get that call very often. One of the best in the business. Automatic first
out at the 28-yard line.
They got the hammer last week against Cincinnati on another mistake you won't see him make very often, not covering a back coming out of the backfield. They got him for a touchdown.
Crowd now rising to its feet, chanting defense. Kenny King, right side, finds an opening, and King makes a little something out of nothing, moving up close to the 35-yard line before Dennis Winston is able to pull him down. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
Big first down play, just what you want to accomplish. You're right. Pete Johnson beat Jack Ham, and Jack will never forgive himself last week.
Well, he's made so many outstanding plays. I think it's almost a big surprise that, you usually can always count on him being there, and he was not there a couple of times last week.
Bob Chandler splits right to Jim Plunkett. 2nd down 4. Inside handoff, Van Egan powers forward. It looks like he might have the first down out close to the 39-yard line. I remind you, tonight after your local news, ABC News Nightline examines growing. At the 39-yard line. The Oakland Raiders up to the line of scrimmage. Cliff Branch to the left. Chandler to the right. Wide receivers for the Raiders. Plunkett looking for Chandler. He's covered. He turns off and gets to Branch complete. Good move by Plunkett. That is cool.
I love the way he's handling himself.
Call it a lot of things. Maybe it's concentration. Don't lose your concentration. You know what you can do. He was trying to go Chandler to the outside. It was well covered. Then you know where your next guy is. Just turn and hit him. He went back to Branch. That's good move.
Had the protection, looked right, turned left, threw left. Beautiful.
Exactly what I saw.
2nd down, call it a long 2. They mark it at the 47-yard line.
The way Meredith did it, the way no one else could.
Right. Jim Plunkett making his first start in 3 years last week against San Diego after Dan Pastorini had suffered a broken leg the previous week. Hands off to Van Egan, and Van Egan pulls up close to midfield, and it looks like another Oakland first down. Now they're beginning to control the ball, which that is a little different. They were way behind in possession of time in the first half, and now they're beginning to grind it out, working on the clock. 4:40, and the clock is moving here in the 3rd quarter.
That's the thing about this Oakland team. You just can't give them a shot. They're opportunists.
Ball resting right at midfield. The crowd continues to chant defense. Play action by Plunkett. Running backs to the right. Tries to get a man, single coverage, and fires complete. Inside the 40-yard line, Raymond Chester.
I love the way he's calling these plays, Don.
He took the time again to let Chester clear. He was hit right between the two. There was pretty good coverage back there, but Chester had time, and Plunkett both had time to move in between those little zones and got him a good first down.
Document that story once again. He came up Heisman Award winner, #1 draft pick in the entire NFL, 4 great seasons. New England traded for 3 #1s to San Francisco. Couldn't make it there. Cut loose in 77. Oakland picked him up in 78. He did not play at all in 78 with Jim Plunkett. Played a little bit in 79 as he hands off to Van Egan. Van Egan struggles, bobbles the ball. This is Robin Cole.
Oh!
And the Steelers get their own turnover.
That's the break they needed.
Robin Cole, tough against the run, and 3 Steelers are slow getting up at the line of scrimmage.
Let's just say, I don't know what happens, so let's just watch it.
That was Robin Cole missing the tackle. Van Egan gives the ball up, and Cole, who had missed the tackle, came up with it.
That was Plunkett that kind of slowed him down a little bit. Cliff Branch makes the tackle.
So now the Steelers, they're down by 4 points. They have the ball. They're in Oakland Raider territory at the 49-yard line, and we'll be back in Pittsburgh in a moment.
The 3 best-selling small-size pickups in America. They may seem alike, but check the facts. There's a big difference. Fact, 1980 Chevy LUV with standard transmission has better mileage ratings than 1980 Toyota or Datsun. 25 EPA estimated MPG, 35 highway. Fact, LUV's cargo box is longer than Toyota or Datsun. And you'll be impressed with LUV's big 1,635-pound payload capacity, too. Tough little Chevy LUV. It's big where it counts, and that's a fact. Chevy LUV, built to stay tough.
Proud
In business, you've got enough problems. That's why I've got a Lanier no-problem typewriter. Now, no problem with my letters.
It's letter perfect.
No problem with math.
It figures.
No problem sorting records.
It files and never forgets. Even does line drawing.
In business, it's nice to have no problems.
It's nice to have a Lanier no-problem typewriter.
Lanier, it does more than just type.
Tuesday on Heart to Heart, Jonathan's past catches up to him, and it could cost him his life.
Frank Gifford along with Howard Cosell and Don Meredith in a wild and woolly football game from Three Rivers Stadium, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and nothing new about that. We anticipated it. Whenever these teams get together, as they have over the past decade, there's been something special. Steelers, Robin Cole's recovery of the Van Egan fumble, had the football, 49-yard line of the Raiders. Bradshaw under pressure, and down he goes again, the safety blitz. It was Mike Davis. Bradshaw down all the way back at his own 44-yard line, a loss of 7.
Frank and I saw Mike Davis and Lester Hayes come up. We sat with Al Davis, and he said, I've got two of the best young defensive backs you'll ever see. Here's the replay. We'll continue the story. Don Cole.
Well, I don't think I can wait to hear the story. Go on with it. We see kind of slip what happened.
Right there, you'll see Mike Davis come in and execute the sack. And Davis explained to us then, you'll remember, Frank, we had Willie Brown, we had Atkinson, we had Tatum, we couldn't break in the youngers. Now we can, and so they have.
Second down, 16. Bradshaw, screen pass, Benny Cunningham. Good screen in front of Cunningham, and a flag goes down as Cunningham goes down at the 40. That could be another holding penalty against Pittsburgh.
It's unbelievable.
Well, this is going to be
no.
Personal foul is going to go against Oakland. Cedric Hardman was the guy they were having some words with back there. But I didn't.
Now the crowd loves it. Eats it up. Bradshaw hurt again.
Personal foul, 86.
Look at holding the left hand, Giff.
That's the arm that he was holding when he left the game in the second quarter. And the personal foul was Cedric Hardman. Defensively for the Oakland Raiders, the first down is at the 25-yard line of the Oakland Raiders, and out trots Cliff Stout.
So the junior Youngstown Rifle faces the task again. He was up to it as the first half ended. Let's watch.
Stout off the bench, puts Theo Bell to the left. Jim Smith out to the right. Cool, calm youngster. Hands off to Rocky Blyer. This play has been opening all night over the left side, over Ray Penny and John Cole for the Steelers. Blyer gets 4. It'll be second down 6.
Don, you were right. Penny is fragile.
Blyer comes out, and in comes Greg Hawthorne. Ball marked close to the 20-yard line. Cliff Stout, of course, as Don mentioned earlier, qualified for the NFL pension and had never been in a moment's of play. And again, Bradshaw's shoulder is being treated on the sidelines. Stout remains in the game. Second down 6. Hawthorne pounds for a first down inside the 15-yard line. Ted Hendricks on the stop. Good, tough running that time. Pulled out in front, just went for it. Had a good lead block by Rocky Blyer out in front. Here comes Bradshaw back into the lineup.
Bradshaw is unbelievable. His courage, his strength. But now I understand why Bell beat SMU.
Cliff Stout must come out and say, hey, man, I'm doing all right out there. Yeah, give me a break. Ball inside the 15-yard line. Minute 30 remaining in the third quarter. Raiders on top, 35-31. Bradshaw puts his two wide men to the left side. Reverse inside to Smith. I believe it was Smith, and I believe that play was designed to go outside, not inside. I think it's one they just made up out there.
I think whatever was designed to be proved to be a catastrophe.
I'll tell you, Matuzak fell on top of Jim Smith, and Matuzak is right up there where you can't wave except the ice house. He goes about 285. Oh, that's a lot of men. Came up with Houston, remember, #1 draft pick?
That's right.
Signed with the WFL, and they court Sent him back to Houston. They shuffled him to Kansas City, went to Washington. They cut him, and the Raiders got him as a free agent.
Look at that figure on first downs, and the Steelers are behind.
Loss of 1, 2nd and 11. Bradshaw, a lot of time. Overthrows Bell in the end zone, but he was well covered, picked up there by Monty Jackson. Good defensive coverage all around. Just didn't have anybody open. I think Terry may have thrown that one away as much as anything. So he'll have a 3rd down and 11.
A field goal would help, but it's not what they wanted.
Steelers, I think, lead the league in their 3rd down
conversion attempts, yes.
Yeah, I only thought they did, till now I know they did. Yeah, it's close. 3rd and 11. Alvin Sweeney goes out to the right by Bradshaw. Jim Smith is in the slot. Up at the top of your screen, the other wide receiver is Bell. Going in the corner of the end zone, and there's almost caught down there by Bell. Monty Jackson just turned around in time to see it. Bell looked like he's trying to do one of those things. I'm not going to let you know that ball's coming this direction. I'm not going to make any moves right to last. Let's just see if he's, wait a minute, here we go. Johnson said, I've seen this song before. This time I'm not stepping on your feet. But look how Bell goes up for that ball. Almost made a great kick. Could have been out of bounds, though, I think, anyway. All right, 4th down. We see Matt Barr. 32-yard attempt. The holder is Copeland. The center is Mike Webster. Matt has had some tough problems of late. Hit the goal post a couple times and barely missed one. I think he just missed another. Matt Barr drills it through the uprights. That's close. That is his 12th field goal out of 12 attempts from inside the 30. Steelers draw to within 1.
This is the view from Olympus. Olympus OM2. Top of the line. Top of a new world of single lens reflexes. Hold it. Focus and fire it. State of the art. Total sophistication of electronics. Total simplicity of use. Camera of professionals. Of people who take no less than excellence. Take no pictures less than great. Olympus OM2. Excellence by design.
The time has come for many of us to join the move toward efficiency and part with the old family bus. If you belong to this practical group, we'd like to suggest that while you may be moving down somewhat in size, you could move up a good deal in luxury. The Buick Century Sedan, our elegant, roomy, affordable V6-powered little limousine. If you're going to move up. Our little limousine, the Century Sedan, one of the V6 Buicks.
The aerial artillery will explode Sunday when the Chargers and the Cowboys battle on a special Sunday edition of NFL Action on ABC.
19 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter, and the Steelers have drawn to within 1. The Raiders 35, the Steelers 34. Matt Barr to kick off. Deep will be Matthews, 43, Whittington, 22. And it will be Ira Matthews, a second-year man out of Wisconsin. Trying to turn the corner. Turns the corner and steps out of bounds out of the 17-yard line. So the Oakland Raiders will begin deep in their own territory. Easy to Cole. And boy, I'll tell you, he is a tough man against the run.
Easy to second guess, Frank, but I didn't like the sequence of calls, the play selection on the last Pittsburgh series of downs. Don, I don't see where they just don't use the tight end enough.
And I've sent word to the bench. I want Chuck Noll up here right now. I want you to talk to him about that. Well, they have not thrown to him. We talked about earlier. They have not used the tight ends except the screens tonight really that much.
Not only that, but Chuck will listen.
I know he will. Bucket looks over the defense as the crowd chants defense, defense. Bucket hands off to Arthur Whittington. Oh, and Whittington is drilled by Donnie Shell. My gosh. And that is a typical Donnie Shell tackle, and that ends the 3rd quarter. The score, the Raiders 35, the Steelers 34. We'll return for the 4th quarter in just a moment.
Thursday, it's Waylon Jennings. The celebrated country legend makes a rare television appearance in his first special. Let's go look at my text. Join James Garner and Jesse Coulter on Waylon.
Western. Pace setters in the fundamentals, like advanced offshore cementing skids with recirculating mixers. Packaged for easy handling and assembly. Plus, service-minded, experienced cementers. The total package from our Western boat support bases in the Gulf of Mexico.
If you don't have an oil well, get one. You'll love doing business with Western. Pace setters.
Profile, the Bob Cornett Company. Experienced, fast-thinking vertical navigators who handle all problems, improvising on location when needed. A company that designs and produces their own gyroscopic single-shot and magnetic multi-shot surveying equipment, plus the new G300 for the deep, hot holes. Sophisticated computers verify information for fast transmission. Years of quality performance from the Bob Cornett Company. They face the job head-on and get it done.
Aides to President Carter and Ronald Reagan continue debating the great debate. Now the dispute is over just when it will be held. More after the ball game.
This is KATC TV3 Lafayette.
Three River Stadium, we begin the fourth quarter. 35-34, the Raiders over the Steelers. Raiders have the football, second down and 10. Ball at the 18-yard line. Tim Plunkett, who has been brilliant tonight, brings the Oakland Raiders up. Under pressure, Plunkett gets it off the tight end, Raymond Chester, and he has another Oakland first down out at the 29-yard line.
Now there's a guy who uses his tight end.
He certainly does. And that first play, last play of the third quarter, you saw Donnie Shell come up and make a really good stop. Again, they get these defensive players aroused. And look there, what we got coming up next Sunday in Dallas, Texas. You talk about a shootout. We're going to have one next Sunday with the San Diego Chargers, with Johnson Company, and the old Cowboys there.
With Fouch-Well and with Danny White-Well. What a game.
Oakland first down, their own 29-yard line. Van Egan gets the call, and Van Egan breaks the tackle and pops out over the 30 to the 33. A gain of 3. It'll be second down and 7. Let's take a look at the third quarter stats. Big play game tonight.
Look at the differential in first downs. Rushing yards pretty even. Passing yards overwhelmingly Steelers. Total yards Steelers. Time of possession Steelers. But the opportunistic Oakland team with a resurgent Plunkett leads by 1.
Second down, 6. Ball at the 33-yard line. Inside handoff, Van Egan finds an opening out over the 35-yard line, close to the 36. It'll be 3rd and 3. And we're going to take this moment, even in the excitement of the game, to offer our sympathies to the family of one of our favorite people and one of the great cameramen in our business. Been with us since the start of Monday Night Football, Drew DeRosa. He's here in Pittsburgh. This morning he received a call that his father Phil had passed away. And Drew, we want you to know that we are thinking about you. Third down, 3. Ball just over the 35-yard line. Plunkett, good protection. Fires and it's complete. Cliff Branch has another first down out close to midfield. They'll mark it around the 48.
I just can't express enough admiration and respect for Jim Plunkett. Frank has told you twice tonight, detailed his personal history as we look again. Don?
He's getting pretty good protection. Earlier part of the game, we saw a little more pressure. But again, Jim steps up in here. Throws kind of a comeback pass to Branch. We've seen Branch do this before. Right on time and picks up the first down.
Pride and poise, Weed Eubank used to say, and Al Davis always says. And this is what Plunkett has been tonight.
On first down, Plunkett will put it in the air again. Under pressure, and he goes to Branch again. Branch has another first down. He's down to the 38-yard line, stopping the clock with 12:10 in the fourth quarter.
It's a play like that that will make him think again about the blitz. You saw him come that time. They picked up the linebackers that were coming, and once again he worked to Branch, this time to the outside.
Don, he is running an aggressive game at a time when one would think a man might be conservative. It's a great performance by Plunkett.
Branch out to the left once again. Bob Chandler splits to the right. Plunkett mixing it up, and sends Mark Egan up the middle. Inside the 35, close to the 34. A gain of a couple will be second down and 8, and he is calling a very heady game. Hey, what he's doing, he's keeping the Steelers honest with that pop up the middle. They can't totally disregard the run because they never know when he's going to put Van Egan or King between the tackles, so they have to play it a little conservative, does the Steeler defense. Arthur Whittington, the speedster. Speedster set back for the Oakland Raiders. Checks in. He wears number 22. Now Chandler and Branch are both aligned, as you see, to the right. Bottom of your screen is Chandler, and the slot is Cliff Branch. Plunkett feels the pressure. Oh, what a pass! Under tremendous blitzing pressure. It caused man-on-man coverage, and Cliff Branch was there, and Plunkett put it to him.
Oh, now that is lovely. I'll tell you, I don't believe the way this man is played today.
That was really lovely. Maximum pressure, had people all over him, threw the ball, and again, the ball could have been thrown much better. Cliff Branch, with his speed, had a step or two behind. Let's look at it again. Van Egan's going to pick up a block in here. That's really important. But they didn't pick them all up, and you saw him get hit by Robin Cole, number 56, just as he released it. One step on Donnie Shell, and you got 6 points.
And what's beautiful about this is the human drama, because it shows what the human spirit can do. And Jim Plunkett typifies. It's a great, great performance.
Let's go back once again. I said it earlier in 78 when Plunkett had been released by the 49ers. He was signed by the Raiders. They told him, we don't expect you to play a lot. You just spend a year, which he did without playing one moment in 78. He spent the entire year just getting the confidence back that he had lost.
Good concentration by Cliff Branch there.
And as you always do, you get a one-on-one situation with the blitz. Plunkett was able to read it, stayed cool, delivered to Branch, who had beaten Donnie Shell. Will be back.
Copier companies have been introducing small copiers with a very interesting claim.
It's just as good as a Xerox.
It's just as good as a Xerox. Then one day...
And this compact copier is very versatile. It even copies on your own letterhead. Yeah, it's inexpensive, but best of all...
I know, it's just as good as a Xerox.
It is a Xerox.
The Xerox 2600, the compact copier that really is just as good as a Xerox.
Of all 1,800 life insurance companies in America, which company is giving 1 million permanent policy owners the chance to get more out of life? With an unprecedented decision to offer them $4 billion extra coverage with no increase in policy premiums. If this leadership and innovation is what you've been looking for, why not join the company that stands apart? Northwestern Mutual Life. Northwestern Mutual Life, the usually quiet company.
The stats on the night as we look at the scoring drive, the touchdown. Plunkett 12 of 20, 245 yards, 3 touchdowns, maybe more important, no interceptions. Chris Barr kicks off. Pollard will take it at the 3 for the Steelers. Look out, Pollard tries to turn it around, and that's a mistake. Gets to the 12-yard line, nailed there. They'll mark it around the 13. Rich Martini down there defensively for Oakland.
Made his original mistake when he caught the ball. Should have let it go in, touch it down. Unless you can get back to the 20 and past it, don't take the football.
And the next mistake, he let his blocking run away from him, and the other guys got through there. He didn't keep up with the blockers.
Set to go in a seesaw battle. The Steelers now, throughout much of the game, having to play catch-up. They've been able to do that. Bradshaw stays in the lineup on 1st and 10. Ball at the Pittsburgh Steelers 18. The handoff to Hawthorne, and Hawthorne runs into Rod Martin, and there will be a loss on the play back to the 10. A loss of 3. Oakland. And if you saw their game a week ago against San Diego, you know, in the second half, defensively, they really came to life. They really poured it in on Dan Fouts. They sacked him 7 times as they took that ball game from San Diego. And on the sidelines, you know a man who would love to be in there is Franco Harris. Damaged his knee last week somewhat against Cincinnati. They decided they'd hold him out of tonight's action.
And if they lose tonight, the Steelers, they're tied with Houston and Cleveland.
Bradshaw, 2nd and 14, fires out complete. Goes out to Jim Smith. He's just short of the first down.
Terry got hit pretty good again on that, and I believe he's going to have to come out again.
Good Lord.
This is his right arm this time.
How much can he take? Yep, holding the right hand, the passing hand.
Well, he got hit again. I think it was Matuzak was back there, and there was somebody else.
Rod Martin was back there on the blitz again.
He really just, I don't understand. You know, you get a lot of licks back in it. He's tough. But let's see if we can see what, there's Matuzak coming over a lot of people. And I think it's Matuzak is the one that kind of socks them up in there.
Matuzak could bury 12 quarterbacks at once.
He got number 12 right there.
That's
Gain of 13. It's 3rd down and 1. Ball out at the 23-yard line. Inside handoff. Hawthorne. He runs into Matuzak, and there'll be a loss on the play of a couple, and Pittsburgh will have to punt.
That could be it.
There was not
even this early. That could be it. Without turnovers.
9:20 and the seconds are ticking off the clock. Out comes the punting unit. Craig Colquitt for the Steelers. Ira Matthews settles in for the Oakland Raiders at about his own 37-yard line. Here he is. Has not been able to turn in the kind of punt returns that they expected of him. He's averaging a little over 4 yards coming into tonight. Led the nation in Wisconsin as a senior 2 years ago with over a 16-yard average. Off Colquitt's foot. He didn't want to kick that one. He hung it high, but it does take a bit of a Steeler bounce. It'll go out of bounds inside the 47-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. They'll have good field position.
That picture needs no words.
Terry Bradshaw on the sidelines. Second quarter. Hurt his left shoulder. Has just come out of the game holding his right arm. We'll be back.
The problem is air. Because moving through it takes horsepower. The solution? A car high in back and low in front to cut drag and turbulence and increase efficiency. The 1981 Buick Regal. If you like the looks of our new Regal, that's fine. But we didn't make it better looking just to make it look better. The new aerodynamic Buick Regal. At your Buick dealer now.
Pardon me, but are you familiar with the official nut of Disneyland?
Don't look at me. I'm just a visitor.
No, I mean Sun Giant almonds.
Roasted, salted, or dry roast?
Hey, you seem to know a lot about Sun Giant almonds.
They're my favorites. My friends like them, too. But I didn't know they're the official nut of Disneyland.
And Walt Disney World.
And to think I only used to come here for the ride.
There's something good under the sun. Sun Giant almonds.
And that's official.
Saturday on NCAA College Football, a doubleheader afternoon of the best in collegiate action at a special early time. Check local listings for the NCAA games in your area, starting at 12 Eastern, live on ABC.
Terry Bradshaw on the Steeler bench, obviously shaken up, but they have not taken him to the locker room. We'll try and get a report for you. We know that he came off holding his right shoulder, his right arm. Earlier, he had gone off holding his left arm, came back twice, had to leave the game again. The touchdown has been alternating almost by series with Bradshaw. Meanwhile, the Oakland Raiders have the football 1st and 10, the ball inside their own 47-yard line. And off is Kenny King, left side, and Kenny King over midfield gets down to about the 48-yard line for a gain of 5. Mel Blunt on the stop along with Dennis Winston. It'll be 2nd and 5.
Exactly. Mel Blunt's tackle gave him an extra 3 yards. So they had the big first down. As you look at Bradshaw, we learn that it is not just the shoulder, as Frank said, not just the arm, but the right thumb. A major problem now. We'll hope for a further report.
2nd and 5. And off Van Egan. Sprints to the outside and taken there by Donnie Shell, I believe just short of a first down. It'll be 3rd and short.
Yes, the score would indicate this, but it just occurred to me as Oakland has punted one time, haven't they?
Ray Guy.
One time,
and a great punt.
That was Colt with the second punt. So
there's not been one of your defensive
That's right. They've been moving that thing up and down. Coach, what do you think?
76 points scored thus far in this ball game.
1 point short of the highest total ever scored on Monday Night Football.
Raiders on top, 42-34. Third down, less than a yard to go. King gets the call, and King is upended. It'll be close to a first down.
Good defensive play that time.
Not sure he got it, Frank. Not sure he got it.
Did you see Jack Ham come in from that linebacker position? Now that's when you can stop a guy. He may have gotten the first down. Still a terrific defensive play by Jack Ham.
I'm not sure he got it, Don.
Oh, I'm not either, but I just was looking at old Jack Ham out there.
Out come the yard markers.
May have gotten it by an inch, but it's going to be terribly close. Not sure he got it. No, he didn't.
We'll know in a moment.
He didn't.
I agree with you, Howard. He did not get it by 2 inches.
What do you do?
Terry's saying right now, what do I do? Because he's got to be.
What do? You kick the ball.
Yeah.
With a 42-34 lead.
They have to kick. They have to.
Well, they don't have to because nobody's moving out there right now unless they got the old quick kick.
They're not going to.
That's the old quick kick.
In comes Todd Christensen. He is the extra tight end that they bring in.
All right.
Now he goes out, and the short yardage unit stays in for Oakland. The ball is inside the 44-yard line. 4th down, inches to go.
Plunkett calls timeout.
And Plunkett doesn't like it. He calls timeout. We'll move over to the sidelines. 7:02 remaining in this game as Jim Plunkett, who's put on a whale of a show tonight. 3 touchdown passes, slides over to have a word with Tom Flores. We'll be back.
In business, starting small and thinking big is no problem. With the Lanier No Problem typewriter, you'll have no problem getting typing back faster. No problem adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, growing, and achieving success. Now that calls for the No Problem shared system. A family of No Problem typewriters working together.
Think big. It's no problem.
It does more than just type.
Lanier today, no problem tomorrow.
I learned to drive in an old Model T that belonged to my dad. We counted on Pennzoil to take care of the engine. Today, Pennzoil does even more. Because now, it saves gasoline. Pennzoil has added gas savings to its regular multi-weight oils. And they've done it at their regular price. So you don't have to spend extra money to get extra miles.
Gas-saving Pennzoil. Quality in every extra mile.
Jim Plunkett trots back out onto the field. The situation, 7:02 remaining in the game. The Raiders over the Steelers, 42-34. 4th down, inches to go. The ball inside the Pittsburgh Steelers' 44-yard line. Terry Bradshaw, we are told, will not return to the game. Damaged right thumb. He is going to really feel the pain tonight. He has been battered and bruised all night long. Key play for the Oakland Raiders. And Van Egan bowls for the first down. And so Oakland maintains possession at the 42-yard line of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the seconds continue to tick.
Well, they got it, but I still think it was the wrong play. They're ahead 8 points. They now have less than 7 minutes left. Kick it. What if they had missed it? Then, okay. But don't play the game the way the fans want it. Play the game the way you know is right.
They took a gamble there, didn't they?
They sure did.
Yeah.
Seconds ticking away. Inside 7 minutes remaining in the game. Wild offensive show from Pittsburgh. Van Egan gets the call. Van Egan surges ahead for perhaps a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9. And I just want to also extend our sympathies tonight to Jim McKay, our colleague. Of course, so popular throughout the country, throughout the entire world, as a matter of fact. Jim McKay and his wife Margaret are in Philadelphia. Jim McKay's father passed away this morning. And again, Jim, we're with you. Beloved Jim, I'm sorry, let me correct myself. It was Jim's mother who passed away in Philadelphia today. A great friend and a great pal, and you have our sympathies, Jim. 2nd down and 8. Arthur Whittington.
Whoa!
Whittington finds an opening and gets down to the inside the 35-yard line.
And you notice that we haven't been calling Joe Green's number tonight in the middle of that line. And Joe's the kind of guy that's been really the anchor for that defense.
Interesting point. A lot being written about that in this town.
Well, in talking to the coaches, well, they say Joe really has been playing well. That time in particular, they did go with his general area, but Mickey Marvin's the big guard has been working on Joe.
Mickey Marvin is a fourth-year man out of Tennessee, and he is an animal. He is a great player.
They're down long, too, and the crowd once again roaring defense. Whittington again gets the call. Whittington down close to the 33-yard line.
Well, you would assume if they'd gone for it 10 yards up the field, they're going to go for it again right here.
I don't know. But I'll tell you this, Frank. We are now within the 5-minute mark, and they are fighting the clock.
And
Pittsburgh
it's ticking
is.
away.
And it's been a long time since the Pittsburgh Steelers lost 2 games in a row at home. Frank has told you that. And nothing is forever. But it's a long season, and when the Steelers get healthy, watch out.
4th down and a yard to go. Could be a long count. Trying to draw the Steelers offside.
There's your play action.
Plunkett had a man open for a moment, and he goes to Casper, and Casper has the first down. Brother Raymond Chester. So easy to say Casper now. In Houston, the Oakland Raiders, the proud possessors of Houston's, or at least the reported #1 draft pick and a pair of 2s. They sent Casper to Houston this past week.
We are down to the 4-minute mark, and we will be within that mark in seconds. We are now. 3:57, 3:56, counting time, and time of the essence.
Ball at the 31-yard line. Bob Chandler split out to the right. Time consumers, Kenny King 33, Van Egan 30. This is King.
King, he's got some good moves back there.
Inside the 30, down to the 27-yard line, a gain of 5. It'll be 2nd down at 5. And again, a reminder about college football coming your way this Saturday. NCAA College Football Regional Doubleheader beginning live at 12 Eastern, featuring Illinois and Michigan. The second half of that doubleheader will be Navy versus Washington, plus a lot of other regional action, including Dartmouth at Cornell, Missouri at Kansas State, Maryland at Duke, Jackson State at Grambling, Florida State at Memphis State. College football right here on ABC.
Let me tell you something, my friend. As one who has been there, you can't get a better game than Jackson State and Grambling.
2nd down and 5. Whittington stacked up inside the 25, short of the first down by a long 2. It'll be 3rd down and 2, and the clock continues to tick away. 2:42.
In this great rivalry, as they begin their rivalry in the 80s, I said at the top of the telecast, maybe the best in pro football. I really believe it is. What a year of transition, as he puts it, for Al Davis. Oakland playing so challengingly, upsetting San Diego Westwood. And Chuck Noll fighting the injuries, fighting the turnovers. He'll be back.
On the 3rd and 2, Whittington bowls forward. He's close to another Oakland Raider first down. And we move close to the 2-minute warning. So they'll bring the yard markers in. That is the 2-minute warning. And we'll be back to see whether or not Oakland has achieved another first down.
When our band's cooking, the music smokes. But not me, because like a lot of my friends, I use Skoal smokeless tobacco. I just take a pinch of that good-tasting wintergreen flavored Skoal between my cheek and gum, and it gives me real tobacco pleasure without ever lighting up. So when you want something that smokes, listen to the Charlie Daniels Band. But when you want real tobacco enjoyment without smoking, try Skoal. A pinch is all it takes. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Using the surgical fiber optic lens, Prestone Labs is going to show you what weak, neglected antifreeze can do to your radiator after only 9,000 miles. Look at these passages. Rust, corrosion, continued neglect could clog them and overheat this radiator. But look at a Prestone protected radiator after the same 9,000 miles. Quite a difference. Prestone has a patented silicone silicate formula to lock out rust and corrosion. Prestone 2 and Prestone Superflush. No wonder we're #1.
Art Whittington has picked up another Oakland Raider first down at the 21-yard line of the Pittsburgh Steelers. 2 minutes remaining in the game. The timeout situation, the Steelers have 3. The Raiders have 2.
Frank, I'd like to say this, if I may. I've been in this business 28 years. The Pittsburgh Steelers don't need one single excuse. They've had to go into this game without Franco, without Stallworth, without Swan. Bradshaw got racked up. Lambert's been out since the first quarter. Anybody thinks the Pittsburgh Steelers are through is an imbecile.
Hang on the line. Who brought that up? I don't know.
Van Egan gets the call.
If they think they've at least made a mistake if they think that about Pittsburgh.
They'll be back with a great coach, with the greatest players in the game. Good Lord.
We've had a good football game tonight. It's been really fun. I think Oakland is kind of getting themselves on track a little bit. They played well last week against San Diego. They're a good football team, but good points. Pittsburgh is...
Well, that's a tribute, I really believe, to Al Davis, who is spending most of his time in a court of law, but that's not relevant. This team, they can play anybody.
Oakland using 12 plays to expire more than 7 minutes, and Arthur Whittington over the right side. More time will be used, and next Sunday, by the way, Seattle will move into Oakland. Oakland wins tonight, and they'll be tied with Seattle in a 4-3 record. One game behind the San Diego Chargers. Meanwhile, the Pittsburgh Steelers will be at Cleveland next Sunday.
And that'll be a great showdown. Rutigliano has his men very much in the chase.
And providing the Steelers lose tonight, they too will be tied with the Cleveland Browns when they go into Cleveland next week. Timeout again. The Steelers are down to 2 timeouts. We'll be back.
You still catch Turner the old way with strong O's and strong arms. But now comes Miller time.
When it's time to relax.
Time for the best tasting beer you can find.
One beer stand is clear.
America's quality beer, Miller High Life.
If you got the time, we've got the beer, Miller beer.
The 1981 Buick Riviera is to automobiles what the Golden Gate is to bridges. What the World Series is to baseball. What the 4th of July is to fireworks. The 1981 Buick Riviera is the ultimate reason for going to your Buick dealer. The V6, V8, or diesel-powered Buick Riviera.
Back at Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 1:11 showing on the clock, and the Raiders methodically grinding on the clock. They have used over 7 minutes in this drive. Terry Bradshaw on the sidelines. Damaged thumb was the last time they brought Terry out of the ball game. 3rd down and 7. Ball on the 17-yard line. Steelers have 2 timeouts. And Van Egan gets the call, runs right into Mel Blount. There'll be a loss of a yard on this play. And we will anticipate the field goal unit now of the Oakland Raiders on 4th down.
And if it's good, Frank, it'll be an all-time record. High score, total score for Monday Night Football. The previous record, 77 points. Last year, Oakland 42. An unbelievable performance by Stabler at that time. New Orleans 35. And in 77, Dallas 42. San Francisco 35. So that's 77 points. With a 3-pointer now, Frank, we go to 79.
Steelers down to 1 timeout. Running off all those numbers, it reminds me that's Incredibles coming up next on the West Coast.
How'd you work that in?
You helped him. I'd like to thank our statistician, research man, Jerry Klein, our spotter, Steve Pazika, as Chris Barr makes the tip at 36 yards. Tonight, Chris, of course, for Oakland. Matt Barr, of course, for the Steelers. And Chris drills it through 36 yards. And the Oakland Raiders have 45 on the scoreboard. The Steelers have 34, 58 seconds remaining in this game. We'll be back in a moment.
And
RCA wants you to see the right color. Does your television automatically capture all these subtle shades of blue in this ocean of color? Color Track 1981 can. With RCA's exclusive detail processor, Color Track separates detail from color, refines it, then locks the right color on track. Even colors only subtle shades apart. Color Track 1981. RCA is making television better and better.
We talked about solar energy for years, but on a policeman's pay, we couldn't afford it until this new system. Right now, heat from the sun is being stored in solar rods in our crawl space. The rods use a plastic pipe developed by Phillips Petroleum. That helps keep the cost of our system down. Solar doesn't supply all our heat, but it really cut our heating costs. Boy, that feels good. Especially on days like...
Split out to the right. Time consumers, Kenny King 33, Van Egan 30. This is King.
King, he's got some good moves back there.
Inside the 30, down to the 27-yard line, a gain of 5. It'll be second down of 5. And again, a reminder about college football coming your way this Saturday. NCAA college football regional doubleheader beginning live at 12 Eastern, featuring Illinois and Michigan. The second half of that doubleheader will be Navy versus Washington, plus a lot of other regional action, including Dartmouth at Cornell, Missouri at Kansas State, Maryland at Duke, Jackson State at Grambling, Florida State at Memphis State. College football right here on ABC.
Let me tell you something, my friend. As one who has been there, you can't get a better game than Jackson State and Grambling.
Second down and 5. Whittington stacked up inside the 25, short of the first down by a long 2. It'll be third down and 2, and the clock continues to tick away. 2:42.
In this great rivalry, as they begin their rivalry in the 80s, I said at the top of the telecast, maybe the best in pro football. I really believe it is. What a year of transition, as he puts it, for Al Davis. Oakland playing so challengingly, upsetting San Diego Westwood. And Chuck Noll fighting the injuries, fighting the turnovers. He'll be back.
On the 3rd and 2, Whittington bowls forward. He's close to another Oakland Raider first down. And we move close to the 2-minute warning. So they'll bring the yard markers in. That is the 2-minute warning. And we'll be back to see whether or not Oakland has achieved another first down.
When our band's cooking, the music smokes. But not me, because like a lot of my friends, I use Skoal smokeless tobacco. I just take a pinch of that good tasting wintergreen flavored Skoal between my cheek and gum, and it gives me real tobacco pleasure without ever lighting up. So when you want something that smokes, listen to the Charlie Daniels Band. But when you want real tobacco enjoyment without smoking, try Skoal. A pinch is all it takes. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Using this surgical fiber optic lens, Prestone Labs is going to show you what weak, neglected antifreeze can do to your radiator after only 9,000 miles. Look at these passages. Rust, corrosion, continued neglect could clog them and overheat this radiator. But look at a Prestone protected radiator after the same 9,000 miles. Quite a difference. Prestone has a patented silicone silicate formula to lock out rust and corrosion. Prestone 2 and Prestone Superflush. No wonder we're #1.
Art Whittington has picked up another Oakland Raider first down at the 21-yard line of the Pittsburgh Steelers. 2 minutes remaining in the game. The timeout situation, the Steelers have 3. The Raiders have 2.
Frank, I'd like to say this, if I may. I've been in this business 28 years. The Pittsburgh Steelers don't need one single excuse. They've had to go into this game without Franco, without Stallworth, without Swan. Bradshaw got racked up. Lambert's been out since the first quarter. Anybody thinks the Pittsburgh Steelers are through is an imbecile.
That's hanging on the line. Who brought that up?
I don't know.
Van Egan gets to come.
If they think they've at least made a mistake if they think that about Pittsburgh.
They'll be back with a great coach, with the greatest players in the game. Good Lord.
We've had a good football game tonight. It's been really fun. I think Oakland is kind of getting themselves on track a little bit. They played well last week against San Diego. They're a good football team, but good points. Pittsburgh is...
Well, that's a tribute, I really believe, to Al Davis, who is spending most of his time in a court of law, but that's not relevant. This team They can play anybody.
Oakland using 12 plays to expire more than 7 minutes, and Arthur Whittington over the right side. More time will be used, and next Sunday, by the way, Seattle will move into Oakland. Oakland wins tonight, and they'll be tied with Seattle in a 4-3 record, one game behind the San Diego Chargers. Meanwhile, the Pittsburgh Steelers will be at Cleveland next Sunday.
And that'll be a great showdown. Bertigliano has his men very much in the chase.
And providing the Steelers lose tonight, they too will be tied with the Cleveland Browns when they go into Cleveland next week. Timeout again. The Steelers are down to 2 timeouts. We'll be back.
You still catch Turn of the Old Way with strong O's and strong arms.
Let's take them home.
But now comes Miller time.
When it's time to relax.
Time for the best tasting beer you can find.
One beer stands
America's quality beer, Miller High.
if you got the time. We've got the beer, Miller beer.
The 1981 Buick Riviera is to automobiles what the Golden Gate is to bridges. What the World Series is to baseball. What the 4th of July is to fireworks. The 1981 Buick Riviera is the ultimate reason for going to your Buick dealer. The V6, V8, or diesel-powered Buick Riviera.
Back at Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 1:11 showing on the clock, and the Raiders methodically grinding on the clock. They have used over 7 minutes in this drive. Terry Bradshaw on the sidelines. Damaged thumb was the last time they brought Terry out of the ball game. 3rd down and 7. Ball on the 17-yard line. Steelers have 2 timeouts. And Van Egan gets the call, runs right into Mel Blount. There'll be a loss of a yard on this play. And we will anticipate the field goal unit now of the Oakland Raiders on 4th down.
And if it's good, Frank, it'll be an all-time record. High score, total score for Monday Night Football. The previous record, 77 points. Last year, Oakland 42. An unbelievable performance by Stabler at that time. New Orleans 35. And in 77, Dallas 42. San Francisco 35. So that's 77 points. With a 3-pointer now, Frank, we go to 79.
Steelers down to 1 timeout. Running off all those numbers, it reminds me that's Incredibles coming up next on the West Coast.
How'd you work that in?
You helped him. I'd like to thank our statistician, research man, Jerry Klein, our spotter, Steve Pazika, as Chris Barr makes an attempt at 36 yards. Brothers Barr kicking tonight. Chris, of course, for Oakland. Matt Barr, of course, for the Steelers. And Chris drills it through, 36 yards. And the Oakland Raiders have 45 on the scoreboard. The Steelers have 34, 58 seconds remaining in this game. We'll be back in a moment.
And let's...
RCA wants you to see the right color. Does your television automatically capture all these subtle shades of blue in this ocean of color? Color Track 1981 can. With RCA's exclusive detail processor, Color Track separates detail from color, refines it, then locks the right color on track. Even colors only subtle shades apart. Color Track 1981. RCA is making television better and better.
We talked about solar energy for years, but on a policeman's pay, we couldn't afford it until this new system. Right now, heat from the sun is being stored in solar rods in our crawl space. The rods use a plastic pipe developed by Phillips Petroleum. That helps keep the cost of our system down. Solar doesn't supply all our heat, but it really cut our heating costs. Boy, that feels good. Especially on days like today.
Phillips Petroleum. Good things for cars and the people who drive them.
It was not your basic defensive tussle here in Pittsburgh. As Chris Barr sets it up to kick off to Frank Pollard. Pollard down around the 2-yard line. Barr drills it along the ground. Is handled there by Dennis Winston, and Winston ambles out to the 35-yard line. They'll mark it at the 36. 52 seconds on the clock. The Pittsburgh Steelers will fall into a tie with the Cleveland Browns in the Central Division of the AFC. Both will have 4-3 records. After tonight, of course, Houston also has their 4-3.
You bet. Those two guys played some good football tonight.
And Oakland with the win. As we look at the standings, there's probably some totals talked to you about a moment ago. And let's take a look at the Western Division. Oakland will play Seattle next week at Oakland. 1st and 10. Cliff Stout stays in the lineup. Fires in the middle. Is incomplete. Intended there for Rocky Blyer coming out of the backfield. 48 seconds remaining in the game. We'll see these Steelers down the line. We have them December the 4th. Down in Houston on a Thursday night game. We have them December the 22nd, and I'm looking forward to that one. In fact, we have a lot of great games coming up, starting this Sunday night in Dallas with the Cowboys and San Diego Chargers. But the final game of our season will be these Pittsburgh Steelers and the Chargers, December 22nd in San Diego.
We'll see Oakland again before this season is over, too, Frank. It'll be interesting to see how that team develops as the season goes along. Big Cliff Stout's getting a chance to play.
This is Blyer, and Blyer has a first down out to the 48-yard line as the seconds tick away. Mike Davis, Ted Hendricks on the stop defensively for the Oakland Raiders. Stout, of course, having called the plays in the huddle, and stepping off sides was Willie Jones. And the play will go. It's called a free play.
Oh.
And boy, Stout really was popped by Cedric Hartman.
That's almost the identical play which put Bradshaw on the sidelines when Hartman came in.
Offside, you saw on top of your screen. Hartman is an interesting pickup by these Oakland Raiders. They always seem to come up with someone like Hartman. He had a little trouble injury-wise with the 49ers a year ago. They got him for a middle-round draft pick. And he has been a great performer over his 12 years in the league.
Offsides, number 90, defense.
Willie Jones, you saw on top of your screen. First down, 5 to go. The ball inside the 47-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. 19 seconds on the clock. Stands have emptied out. Disappointed Pittsburgh Steelers crowd. As I said before, that's since 1970 as the Steelers lost 2 in a row here at Three Rivers Stadium. Trying to get the ball to Frank Pollard. No flag down. Incomplete pass. 14 seconds now. Second down.
And in there, Frank, right at the end, Willie Jones, for the very reason that Oakland had drafted him, the pass rush. An impressive performance, regardless of the Pittsburgh injuries, by an Oakland team that is clearly, as Davis puts it, in transition.
Hey, in consecutive weeks, you knock off San Diego, knock off the Pittsburgh Steelers. You're not in transition. You're there. And there it is. The Raiders win another one. 2 consecutive weeks they've knocked off prime contenders for the Super Bowl. Once again, the final score, Oakland 45, the Pittsburgh Steelers 34. Remember to stay tuned after your local news for ABC News Nightline over most of these ABC stations. Travel arrangements made through and a promotional fee paid by United Airlines. United flies more people to Hawaii than any other airline. That's what friendly skies are all about. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television. The Raiders over the Steelers 45-34.
This week, a special assignment. Superpowers in the Middle East. Is the Soviet shadow growing? What caused this clash? Will the U.S. give military parts to Iran in exchange for the hostages? No. Plus, Barbara Walters and another headline-making interview with John Anderson this week on ABC's World News Tonight.
Officials in St. Mary Parish are still smarting over today's Supreme Court decision. What it's all about next on Acadiana Update.
Thibodeau Shell Yard in Lafayette is buzzing all the time as the big trucks roll with loads of shell, limestone, and gravel. Little trucks, too, because Thibodeau Shell Yard can handle the smallest need or the largest. They've been doing it a long time and doing it on time. For all your shell, limestone, or gravel needs, Thibodeau Shell Yard, for many years on any job, proving their ability to provide the best.
Make your home energy efficient this winter with a quartz heater from Godshaw's. Here's the revolutionary new way to heat your home with energy savings of 25 to 50%. The quartz heater heats you, not the surrounding room, and costs only 6.5 cents per hour to operate. These quartz heaters are value priced right now at Gotchaw's. The Arvin quartz heater is only $59.99. The Patton quartz heater with humidifier, just $79.99. Super values on quartz heaters from Gotchaw's.
What does industry throughout the Gulf South have in common? The answer is Lowry Brothers. Lowry Brothers helped get the world's largest platform offshore, using 40 years of experience and skill in the manufacture of wire rope and wire slings and boom pendants for industry everywhere. Located in Marrero, Louisiana, Lowry Brothers fabricates all types of tie-down slings, straps, fittings, and accessories. For all your rigging needs, large or small, rely on Lowry Brothers, with rugged assemblies and products to lift anything in the world.
This is KATC TV3 Lafayette.
A big day at the Supreme Court. Ed Roy says hang on to a sweater, and John Mormont recaps a wild night in football. Good evening. For the Supreme Court, today was a busy day. The court denied a request that it review a court ruling halting widespread use of the controversial drug Leotril, which is claimed by some to be effective in fighting cancer. The court also let stand a ruling denying an Illinois woman custody of her children because she lived with a man who was not her husband. Lower courts ruled her home environment threatens the upbringing of her 3 daughters. The bang of the Supreme Court gavel could also be heard today in St. Mary Parish. Logan Banks reports the justices have put the wraps on a worker registration law. Or have they?
Sir Anthony Garisco says he'll rewrite the worker registration law to bring it within constitutional framework. The law, which required out-of-parish workers to pay a fee and be photographed and fingerprinted, was ruled unconstitutional because it interfered with the free flow of commerce and violated workers' civil rights. But Garisco says he'll repackage the legislation, and this time focus on the oil-related industries, which he says attracts transients.
I would like to possibly look at an industry-wide ID system whereby persons in enumerated professions, specifically in the oil and gas exploration industry, be identified in the same fashion that we did it geographically. That has been held up constitutionally.
Garisco says the reason he's pushing for worker registration is a higher crime rate by transients and the attitude of the citizenry.
I think the crime problem is worse now than it was 2 years ago when the concept was introduced. I think that some of what I was afraid of is coming to pass, and I hope it doesn't. People are very fearful. They are very emotional, justifiably so. We started to form neighborhood watches, and the other side of the coin is vigilantism by the people.
Garisco says the state legislature must enact legislation before the parish can adopt the law, and that won't come until April at the earliest. Logan Banks, News 3.
Nevada police are searching for a Vietnam veteran in connection with an attempt to extort $10 million from a Lake Tahoe casino by threatening to poison its water supply. Harry Leach was arrested last year for allegedly poisoning a fish pond, and the extortion note makes reference to the fish pond poisoning in California. St. Landry Parish officials today charged a 17-year-old man with the aggravated rape, kidnapping, and attempted murder of 2 9-year-old girls. Police say they arrested Jerome Chavez of Opelousas last night. They say the girls were allegedly taken from their homes and sexually attacked in a wooded area 3 miles outside the city. Both girls are back with their parents tonight in satisfactory condition. Meanwhile, a city curfew is in effect for children in Atlanta while police search for clues to the unsolved cases of 14 missing and slain black children. The curfew for boys and girls under 15 is in an effort to stop the rash of killings. A reward of $50,000 is being offered for information on the killer. For months, what will become of the Atchafalaya Basin has been tossed back and forth between federal and state officials. The public has had its say-so too. Now Jim Bourgeois reports the state of Louisiana has until next Tuesday to present its case to the Army Corps of Engineers.
Almost 2 years have passed since citizens have had the chance to say what they want for the future of the Atchafalaya Basin. And the controversy still centers around the same issue. Who will own Louisiana's last great wilderness? Will it be left in the hands of its present owners, or will the government buy it? Sources say a compromise is in the works, which will allow owners to keep their land and preserve the basin in its natural state. But before the final plan is adopted, the state must have its say, in the form of a report to the U.S. Corps of Engineers. That report is due on October 28th, 8 days from now. And if the state continues to see the basin as just a floodway, the effect that report will have on the final plan is questionable.
If the state maintains the position that they've had in the past, based on what my conversations with the Corps, the EPA, and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, that the state's input will be very minimal.
But Sanders and his organization, Save the Atchafalaya Basin Incorporated, are hopeful that won't be the case. Governor Treen has asked several state agencies for input in the report, giving observers hope that the state recognizes the basin as more than a floodway. The question now is whether the state will side with landowners or environmentalists, or will it strike a compromise?
I think that he can maintain an integrity to private property rights and still embrace the interests that are shared by an overwhelming number of citizens in Louisiana to preserve the Atchafalaya Basin, even if it means enforcing other constitutional rights such as eminent domain.
The federal government's final plan for the basin will be ready sometime next spring. Then more public hearings will be held. Jim Bourgeois, News 3.
Both Carter and Reagan agree it's time for a debate. But that's all they agree on. More in a moment.
Extra, look who's having a big red tag sale featuring Burlington furniture.
Yes, right now 4A's has a red tag sale on Burlington furniture. Save $400 on the Burlington Early American Pine bedroom suit. Save 20% on this classic girls bedroom blue, or 20% on the Colonial Solid Maple bedroom suit.
Extra, look who's having a big red tag sale featuring Burlington furniture.
But hurry, this sale ends October the 31st. That's 4A's in iota. We're worth looking for.
Today, many young people starting their career find they can't afford a house, so they have to pay rent and get no tax benefits. At GoTo Mobile Homes, you can own this new 12x60 two-bedroom home for $998.75 down and $139.52 a month. How about this 14x72 River Oaks with 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, and the popular island stove at a price you can afford? Choose from a large selection. Invest in the future and improve your lifestyle at GoTo Mobile Homes, 167 North Lafayette.
If you've promised her a diamond, make a beautiful promise come true. Your wedding rings will be a very special symbol of your love. At Crown Jewelers, we'll take time to help you find the rings that are just right for both of you. We invite you to use our convenient layaway plan. Crown Jewelers, the Boulevard Shopping Center, Lafayette.
Graham Smith, News 3 on Capitol Hill. If it's important, you'll see it here first, because where you are, we are. News 3 does more than scratch the surface. We're on the road in Acadiana and beyond. There are many years of experience in our news department, and we've got some of the best. Every minute, day or night, we know what's happening and keep you informed. I'm Graham Smith. When you want to know the way it is today in Acadiana, watch News 3 at 6 and 10, here on TV3.
Pollster Lou Harris says the 1980 presidential race has turned into the most negative campaign he's seen, with a record number of undecideds in his survey of voters. But it's not apathy, says Harris. The voters care desperately and deeply, he says, but are just turned off by the choices. Whether the voters care or not, the two frontrunners, Jimmy Carter and Ronald Reagan, care very much which of them will spend the next 4 years in the White House. Both were on the campaign trail today. Carter attacking Reagan's defense policies, Reagan defending them. But what of the face-to-face confrontation both men have promised? Well, it seems the debate over the debate rages on.
The Reagan campaign had its own October surprise this morning. Jim Baker's proposal, a last-minute November 3rd presidential debate.
We would like to see this debate held on Election Eve, after all of the conventional campaigning has been completed, after all of the paid media has been run, at a time when most of the undecided voters are going to be making up their mind.
Reagan advisors insist their man will win, and eliminating postmortems doesn't give Carter time to recoup. But reassessing time is what Robert Strauss wants.
Frequently when there are misstatements made, and factual misstatements, even if unintentional, you need 24 to 48 hours to clean them up.
Verbal gamesmanship dominated the picture-taking ceremony, and it was clear not just the date, but the debate idea itself was up for grabs. Reagan never officially accepted the league's invitation. Jody Powell ruled out a last-minute confrontation. There is no way in hell we can do it in the last 3 days. Powell insisted scheduling and financial priorities had been left for those final days. Both sides agreed on one thing, to answer no questions. The league said telephone conversations will work out remaining details, and they will announce them tomorrow at a news conference.
More than 80 Cuban refugees undergoing psychiatric evaluation to arm themselves with pipes, bottles, and broken light bulbs, and seized a building in Washington, D.C., holding it for 7 hours. The takeover ended peacefully when the Cubans walked out tonight. Public health officials say the refugees have been subjected to great stress since the time of the boat lift, and some of them have not been able to cope. Money, we all know, can be a problem, more so when you don't have any. Shrimpers around Delcombe know the feeling well. They're eligible for disaster assistance loans due to the spring floods. But Diane Mack finds the money for the loans is just now becoming available.
Economic injury disaster loans are now available to shrimp boat owners and related businesses suffering financially from the April-May flooding. Shrimpers applied some months back for the Small Business Administration loans, but because of a delay in funding between April and July, they never received the money. Now that monies are available, shrimpers are worried funds still won't come through.
Finally thinking that we haven't got nothing yet. Since in March and April, they're talking about a loan. We applied for it, but we never got nothing yet. Just barely making enough to eat, survive. And they've been telling us we're going to get loans, and we never got no loans.
Try to do the best I can until we do get the money. But it looks like we might get a chance to start it before it gets here. Well, if we don't get help soon, we damn sure ain't going to stay afloat. We're going to go down.
Jim Duffy with the Small Business Administration in New Orleans says disaster activity was so heavy that funds ran out. But now that new funds have arrived, he sees no problems in the future.
Shrimpers in the Lafayette Lake Charles area have until February 23rd to file for disaster aid. In Delcombe, Diane Mack, News 3.
Finally, for all you parents or parents-to-be, here's something that may be of interest. Parents Magazine reports the total cost of raising a child born this year, up to age 18, will average about $254,000. And that does not include a college education. And hang on to your seats. The magazine says its figures are moderate estimates.
Put that on the master charge. Like always in installment plans, though, year by year. Otherwise, we're going to talk about a hot day in Florida and some clouds for ourselves.
More than a great steak, a great baked potato. Brought to you by Ruth's Chris Steakhouse.
Me? I want a leftover 1980 at a closeout price.
Not me. I want one of the first 1981s. I've heard they're smaller and get great gas mileage.
Me? I'm going to look at both, and I'll probably buy at Lafayette Motors because they're having a sale for everybody.
You'll find our 1980s at closeout prices, like LeBaron's loaded with luxuries for only $69.90, or our first 1981s, like New Horizons, that get 41 highway miles per gallon for the same sale price, only $69.90. And the most celebrated new car in America, Chrysler's K-Car, 1981 Plymouth Reliant, on sale for no more than you might pay for a Chevy Citation. This sale is for everybody. Our last 1980s closed out for only $69.90. Our first 1981s for the same sale price. Even the celebrated Chrysler K-Car on sale. If you're a really smart buyer, see you tomorrow at Lafayette Motors, still home of the #1 gas mileage car in America.
Get an A+ in banking with American Bank of Lafayette. Look, get A+ on good bank rates with personal loans from American. Get A+ in economy banking with our new Acadians Banking Club. And get 24 services, including free checking. Inquire about our many checking plans and savings plans, too. We pay highest interest. Banks are allowed on savings. For gracious personal service, get A+ banking from American Bank of Lafayette, member FDIC. Now you're banking.
Take a 4:30 break every day with Good Time.
Enough. Mom, I got a feeling tonight my ship is going to come in. Hi, folks.
Looks like the whole fleet just came in.
Good times, friends. Gather weekdays at 4:30 on TV3.
No, you can't put that on master charge. You know better than that.
Well, all right. I'll tell you what's not a bad idea, though. If you have some ice to rent, you might send it down to either West Palm Beach, Miami, or Miami Beach.
You're telling me we've got cool temperatures here and they're still sweltering in heat?
That's right. That's right. Notice the frontal system. Miami today got up to 90 degrees. It was warm all through southern Florida. Of course, the frontal system hasn't yet moved through the rest of the state. Miami at this hour still reporting 83 degrees. As soon as that frontal system goes through, which is going to be a very slow and arduous process, I don't think that their temperatures are going to stay that warm. But for the time being, they're enjoying a heat wave here in the middle of autumn. Now, the high-pressure ridge over the eastern side of the country is moving very, very slowly, so it's going to be our dominant weather pattern influence over the next couple of days. And because of the sluggishness of the atmosphere, we're not going to have much of a change. What we had today, I think, is what we're going to keep throughout the week. Now, there are a lot of young'uns going up to visit our seat of government up in Washington. Their temperatures today got up into the mid and upper 60s, and their low temperatures in the morning are going to be down in the upper 30s to low 40s. So it's going to be chilly on the East Coast. The rest of the country, not many frontal systems moving around today. There's one front that just poked its nose onto the northwestern